What's going on, everyone? Welcome on into the Cleveland Browns Report. Matthew Peterson here, answering questions that came in during our mailbag, which airs every single Wednesday during our live show, 5 p.m. Eastern. Quick reminder, hit the like button today and every time you step into the Cleveland Browns Report. Our first question is coming in via Super Chat from Loverboy Charlie, who asks, would you do a CeeDee Lamb for Myles Garrett trade? This is a Madden trade. The Cowboys not doing this trade. Even if you remove contracts from the situation, actually, maybe if you don't remove contracts from the situation, but you have to include contracts. And CeeDee Lamb's brand new spanking nice contract is going to get in the way of making this deal possible. If you were to remove contracts, I'd want draft picks. I don't want to acquire CeeDee Lamb and just have him be disgruntled that the Browns are competing here. If there is any position that has a little bit too much diva in them, it's wide receiver. And I feel like if you acquire CeeDee Lamb, he'll be asking for a trade next. So I would only trade Garrett for picks and maybe some players, but the focal point should not be players. It should be draft picks. Dylan Sutcliffe, if the Browns do go with two free agent QBs, what do you think about Kirk Cousins and Mac Jones? I like that combination. I'm on board with that, Dylan. Cousins went on Good Morning Football and shared that he played through a shoulder and elbow injury when the Falcons lost 4 straight games and Cousins did not throw a single touchdown pass in that stretch. So very convenient that he shares this information now, a month before free agency. That's not by accident. That's very intentional. But if he truly did suffer that injury and that's why he played poorly, if you're the Browns, you're looking at that going, okay, well, at least now we have an explanation for how he completely fell off the face of the earth. And if he's healthy again, which reasonable to assume that shoulder and elbow can be ready to roll by the start of the next season, then you are going to get a quarterback who's going to be signing for a vet minimum deal since he still has $27 million of a base salary remaining in Atlanta. You're going to get a pretty good bargain altogether. So I'm on board with Kirk Cousins along with Mac Jones because he had a good rookie season. Ultimately, he was a victim to horrible coaching in New England at the offensive coordinator position. Because anytime you can make Matt Patricia your play caller, you just have to do it. And I think Kevin Stefanski could really bring out some good play from Mac Jones. So, Dylan, I like this combination a lot, given what your options are. Tyrone, if the Browns draft Travis Hunter, do you think they should utilize him on both sides? I think for him to play with that dog mentality and overall mindset, he needs action on both sides. I think he'd play corner, and I think he would have 10 plays on offense. Some red zone packages, some third and long where it's like, hey, just get open. I don't think he's going to be part of 1st and 10 from your own 30-yard line, Travis Hunter's in the slot. Unless that's a specialty play by itself, but I don't think he's going to be a consistent part of the offense. I don't want to doubt the guy. It's not even a physical thing. I don't think you can just absorb an offense and defensive playbook in the NFL. There's so much nuance and so many details to it. For a rookie, it's tough enough to learn one playbook, double the workload, and now he's going to be drowning in it. That might be something that gets added onto his plate as years go on in the NFL. Tim Green, next one up on the show. Great to see you, Tim. What are your thoughts on drafting Mason Graham at number 2? I have not spent a lot of time talking about Mason Graham. I do think he is going to be a good NFL player. I don't think he reminds me of this guy I'm going to say next, but maybe has a similar career to this guy. Cam Hayward. Just a perennial force up the middle with pass rush upside. Mason Graham was not like an Aaron Donald type pass rush upside when Aaron was at Pitt going into the draft, but he's a ferocious run stopper, and he is going to be a problem for opposing teams on the interior of the defensive line. My issue, if you will, with this idea is you just took Mike Hall with your first pick last year. The defensive tackle position is not one of the most important spots for a 3-win team to begin addressing. There are other fish to fry. Defensive tackle with Mike Hall being a pick last year and Dalvin Tomlinson still under contract, I think can be pushed off later in the draft or pushed off to another year altogether. So if they take Mason Graham, I won't be upset too much about it because I think he's a good player, but I will not be over the moon with the position selection given the other spots that need to be addressed with that second overall pick. Dancing Bananas. Did you guys ever watch Bananas in Pajamas? That was like a childhood show I used to watch. Any chance of trading for Cooper Kupp to keep Myles here? I mean, if the Browns are going to keep Myles, it's going to be because they somehow convince him we are a contending team. And one way to do that would be we are going to lay out a plan of the moves we are going to make the offense better. And maybe Myles would agree that adding Cooper Kupp could be a big plus to the offense. I mean, you just insert Kupp into that slot position. You got Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Cooper Kupp, and maybe with a good quarterback that you convince Myles is a great bridge option. He changes his mind. This is a desperation type move. One I don't think the Browns should make. For starters, I don't anticipate any team trading for Kupp. The Rams have made it very public via Cooper Kupp that they are looking to trade him immediately. The guy is just not who he was 4 years ago when he won the Triple Crown. He's missed a lot of time over the last 2-3 seasons, nearly a third of the games. He's getting older. He's not looking at that true number one receiver anymore. So no team is going to give them a draft pick and take on that contract. My suspicion is he is going to get cut, and the Browns could sign him, but does anyone think Cooper Kupp's going to sign with the Cleveland Browns? I don't. So would you trade for Kupp? We can't just dismiss this idea because we are talking still about Andrew Berry, who has built his entire receiver room via trades. Elijah Moore, Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper. He goes to rehab for wide receiver trades. So if he hears a receiver's on the market, it is blood in the water, and he's a great white. Moving on to some other questions on today's mailbag. Garrett Brown's prods. How to fix the Browns. Get Justin Fields and draft Abdul Carter. Keep Garrett. Cut Thornhill. Draft a receiver. I love how just keep Garrett was just snuck in there. Like, I'm not going to notice that big elephant in the room. The issue is if you keep Myles and he wants a trade, you are inviting a very, very toxic relationship into your locker room. One that can simply become a disaster. And we've seen that play out so many times in sports, where a guy wants to be traded and he's held hostage, and it never has a good ending. The only ending that can make it good is a new contract. And that is not a motivating factor for Garrett, at least based off everything he's told us. So unless money persuades him, this to me seems like a bad idea, keeping Myles hostage. The rest of your plan, I can get on board with. If you sign Justin Fields, you got to sign another veteran. Although I think they're going to sign 2 veterans no matter what. Cut one Thornhill, sure, go for it. It'd be a post-June 1 release just to get some cap savings. It's not a ton, but I agree. Just move on altogether. It's been a bad 2 years with him. Super Bowl predictions. If you were Myles, why does everyone love spelling Myles' name incorrectly? What would you do in this situation? I mean, if I were Myles, and I am also myself, I'm going to stay in Cleveland. But if I'm Myles Garrett, I don't have an issue with requesting a trade, given how long you've been in Cleveland, what you've been through, and the clear direction this team is headed to, which is some type of rebuild. They are not going to be a contending team for a Super Bowl this upcoming season. And if you draft a rookie quarterback the next offseason, it's going to be at least 2 years until that rookie's in the Super Bowl, unless he's the first rookie ever to make it to the Soupy. So now we're talking about 3 years. I don't blame him for wanting to not be a part of a 3-year type of rebuild. Super Bowl Productions, thank you for your question. Mike Nintendo Master. What can the Browns do with the available cap space? Well, right now they're about $30 million over the projected salary cap. Now they're going to get about $40 million rolled over from 2024. So there are, from what I have gathered and learned, the folks in Berea are not concerned about the salary cap situation. They've always used the salary cap as an advantage to theirs. They've never let the salary cap control them. No, they've always been aggressive in the way they push money into the future to maximize their current spending. That's always been their thought process. I don't think they are panicking over the salary cap space. Now, they've never been big spenders in free agency, but let's just be real with one another. How many times have marquee free agents wanted to come play in Cleveland? I think the Browns know that they are at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to free agency because Cleveland, Las Vegas, they tend to lose out like Christian Wilkins last offseason. Browns wanted him. He picked Las Vegas. So that's why they've always been aggressive in trades, because they feel like that's the only way they can get some of the best players to come to Cleveland, which no one wants to hear that, but the evidence points to that. Before we get to the rest of the questions on today's show, Game Time has an awesome feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you do not have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. One thing I really like about Game Time is their all-in pricing option. Toggling this feature shows the total upfront cost with no surprise fees at checkout. Plus, they offer the Game Time guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Ghostface, should the Browns trade Greg Newsome, or would it be more worth it just to trade Denzel Ward? I talked about this on a previous video. If you're going to trade Myles, why not just blow it all up? It's going to be a tough pill to swallow because Andrew Berry opened up the offseason by saying, we're not trading our cornerstone players, but one's requested a trade, so the floodgates are opening up. And if I'm Denzel Ward, I know he's from the Cleveland area, went to Ohio State, and he's playing for his dream team. But what's stopping him from going, man, if Myles is in here, we're definitely not going anywhere. I want to trade now. So if I'm the Browns and Myles is going, I'm stripping the whole thing down. I'm trading Denzel Ward. I'm trading David Njoku. I'm trading Greg Newsome. And I'm getting every draft pick in this year's draft, next year's draft. Because like or hate Andrew Berry as a drafter, the more picks he has, the higher probability he hits on some of them at least. It's a very tough pill, like I said, to swallow. But I don't see the upside to half-assing a rebuild. And if you're trading Garrett, guys, wake up and face the music. You are rebuilding full on at that point. Kirk Davis, do you think we can get 3 first round on this year and 2 for next year? I'm assuming you mean not just for Myles straight up, right? Like 3 total first round picks for 2025 and 2 in 2026? Probably not. I think Myles can get you 2 first round draft picks. I think Denzel Ward can get you like 2 seconds. With the concussion history, his age, him being the 4th highest paid corner in football, you're probably not going to get a first for Denzel Ward. Jalen Ramsey went for 2 firsts, but he was way younger in his career and not as expensive. So I would think 2 seconds for the Warden. Njoku's probably like a 4th and a 5th, like early day 3 picks. But he's also had some injury history as of late. He's up in the age column, but he's still a good player, so I could see a 4th and a 5th for Njoku. But no, Kirk, I don't think you're going to be getting that many first-round picks. Joshua Miller. Word on the street is Bitonio retires if Myles is traded. Yeah, I meant to bring that up, and it kind of slipped my mind because of all the things going on with Myles. I don't think it's just if Garrett gets traded. I think Bitonio might just retire just because. He's talked about this for 2 off seasons now. And I think it was Wyatt Teller or Jack Conklin. Someone said that once a month has gone by, he's going to be in a different mental headspace and he's going to be ready to come back and play football once he's a little bit removed from all of the physical toll of the season. But yeah, Garrett getting traded, I feel like could be, all right, there's no clearer sign that this is time for me to hang it up because 10 years here and we have 2 playoff appearances to show for, 1 playoff win, which, listen, people are kind of like downgrading that. There are way worse, resumes for successful players. It's not good, don't get me wrong, but it's not awful. So if if Garrett gets dealt, I expect Bitonio to retire, but I think Bitonio could retire regardless of what happens with Myles. Be honest, do you think we are going to lose Garrett? It is a stare down between Andrew Berry and Myles Garrett. And I don't think the Browns are going to keep Garrett hostage. So, yes, I do not think Myles Garrett will be in Cleveland on the home side of the field in week 1. All right. That's going to do it for us on our live show today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Always appreciate it. For everyone that super chatted, Josh, AFX, of course, and then Loverboy Charlie. Appreciate you more than you know for supporting the channel like this. If Myles wins a Super Bowl with another team, does he go into the Hall of Fame with that team or the Browns? With the Browns. He's not trying to have a messy split up. I think he still loves the team and whatnot, but he wants to go win a ring. Time Man the Buckeye, 7 diamonds. Yeah, you're right. The Broncos kind of claim him too. I think it also depends a little bit on how long he plays for this other team. I think Myles can play 6 more good seasons. 4 great seasons, 6 more good seasons. Like, let's just compare him for a moment to Von Miller. Von Miller is 35. And he had 8 sacks when he was 33 years old, his first year in Buffalo. So Myles is 29. So 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. So I think he still has 5 more great years in him. How would you feel about sending him to the Titans and having the first 2 picks in the draft, then reuniting Sanders and Hunter in Cleveland, and we build off of that? I've seen this idea tossed out there. Well, I do think it's important to note that Myles does not have a say in where he gets dealt. So he might say he wants to go to a contender, but the Browns are going to take him or trade him to whatever team gives him the best offer. The Tennessee Titans are not trading the first overall pick for Myles Garrett. They just need to prioritize a young foundation, not add a 29-year-old defensive end. He'll be great for Tennessee. He'll put up 15, 16 sacks, and the Titans will win 3 or 4 games. Just like how that happened again, this happened in Cleveland this year. So this, to me, is unrealistic. As for the idea of reuniting Sanders and Hunter, no. Let college football stay in college football. If the logic is they were so good in college, reunite them in the NFL, they better have been as good as Joe Burrow and Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, which they were not. Let's pick a card to wrap up the show. Dylan, after getting it correct the last time, 1-0 Producers. Which card do you want to go with? Oh, yeah. King of Hearts. I was thinking 5 of Clubs. It's not going to be the 5 of Clubs. So, I'm going to audible to a 2 of Diamonds. What'd you say? No. 7 of Diamonds.